Our first title is really the only blockbuster title on this week's releases, and that's Crysis 2. Crysis 2 is a pretty big deal title. The first title set a lot of milestones, broke a lot of barriers with its intense graphics, and it's pretty much been the benchmark for every game to be compared to, and every gaming computer that comes out is tested against Crysis to see how it will do. I have a pretty serious gaming rig myself, and I can play Crysis at 60 frames per second. It's an intense game. I have to be honest here, though. I was not a big fan of the first Crysis. The story just fell short for me and just failed to keep my interest. But the game itself was very interesting. Story just could not keep me involved in it. But to give you a quick breakdown of the original, it's basically just you're a soldier in a special bio suit that's going to enhance all your physical abilities, speed, strength, sight, all these things are going to be able to get enhanced. It's going to give you a stealth suit so you can sneak around, all kinds of capabilities. And it was a lot of fun playing with all these abilities, but like I said, the story just kind of fell short for me. But Crysis 2 is going to be a lot different. It's set in New York City, and it's basically in the middle of some kind of crazy alien invasion. The details of this are not 100% clear, but yeah, it is some kind of invasion going on, alien invasion, and it's not post-apocalyptic, but it's like during apocalyptic New York City. You know, a lot of blown up buildings, a lot of safe houses for stuff. It's pretty intense. But I think this is gonna be a good title. I really want to pick this title up. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to get it right away, but I definitely want to check this game out. Normally, for first person shooters, I'm a PC kind of guy, and I would like to pick this title up for the PC. But my recommendations for this title is going to be to rent it just to check it out and see what you think of it before you actually buy it. And you obviously can't rent PC titles, but if you wanted to get this for PlayStation, that's the system that I would recommend. Hopefully, you're a PlayStation owner because on top of this game, you know, looking amazing, and obviously the PlayStation can handle all of that. It is going to be available in 3D. So if you are one of the few people that has a 3D television, then you can take advantage of that fact and be able to play Crysis 2 in 3D. And I've been told that the 3D does make a big difference, and I mean, the game will be enjoyable regardless, and the graphics are going to be enjoyable regardless. But the 3D aspect of it, it doesn't seem like it was just thrown in there. The designers of this game really worked hard to really incorporate the 3D aspect, so this is going to be a great title and a lot of fun. Our next title is that's coming out is available for Xbox and PlayStation 3, and it's Dynasty Warriors 7. Dynasty Warriors is a great classic hack and slash game. I love the whole franchise, but usually I don't pick the title up right away. Ever since I believe it was Dynasty Warriors 4, but definitely 5. After a short while after the title comes out, they come out with the Empires version, which is basically a more strategic version. It's still, you know, you're playing a guy, you're running around, you're slashing and killing thousands of troops, and it's a lot of fun. But you kind of have to pick like territories that you're going to take over, and it kind of plays like Risk to some degree, except just China. You're just taking over areas of China, and you know, you pick a spot on the map. You're gonna, all right, I'm gonna go attack this place, and then it cuts to you obliterating people. Whereas the regular non-Empire versions of the title are linear. They, just mission by mission, you just keep going through it, and you just keep hacking and slashing. So the storylines can be cool, and these games are usually fun, but there's a lack of depth for the game, and I think Empires usually fixes that. And I'm sure they're going to come out with another one. Usually, it's within 6 months of the release of the first title they'll come out with. So I would keep my eyes out for Dynasty Warriors 7 Empire. That's probably going to be the better game to play. But if you're not into the whole strategy aspect, or if you don't really care and you just want to kill thousands and thousands of people, then this is a great title to pick up. But this will be another title that I would say is good to go for a rental, not necessary to buy, because this title, after like a week or so of just nonstop killing hundreds and thousands of Chinese soldiers, that starts to get old. So go ahead and rent it, see what you think. The next title that I'm going to cover is actually not a game release that you're going to be able to pick up in any store because it's a PlayStation Network title. I'm not always going to cover these titles, but this is kind of a big deal, and I kind of wanted to talk about the Tomb Raider trilogy being released as a whole on the PlayStation Network. All three of the original Tomb Raider games being released. That's a pretty big deal, and that's pretty awesome. These games set the standard for these adventuring style games, climbing around, solving puzzles. It's games like this that led to games like Uncharted, which it's obviously amazing, and we're all super looking forward to Uncharted 3, and there'll be more to talk about that in the future, I'm sure. But that game wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for Tomb Raider. So Tomb Raider trilogy, it's a great way to revisit it, especially if you've never played the originals. I would definitely check it out. Our next title is the only PC exclusive title this week, The Sims Medieval. I think this is going to be a really fun game. Whether you're a fan of The Sims or if you're a fan of just fantasy games or medieval games, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's set up basically the same way as The Sims, where you're playing a character and you're helping him grow up and advance in his world. But instead of a modern world like all the previous Sims titles, this time it's set obviously in medieval time. So you can play the role as a knight or try to advance your way all the way up to a king or something. There's a lot of possibilities that you can do with this. It takes the franchise in a new direction. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and this is a title that I'm definitely going to be picking up. I'm definitely going to check this out, and hopefully I'll have a future review for you guys because I think this is going to be a great title. The last game on our list is a PSP exclusive, and it's a Final Fantasy title, Descendia 12. Basically, anything Final Fantasy is going to be worth picking up. This is another part of the franchise that I think is going to be a lot of fun. It looks like a great game. It ties into some of the other Final Fantasy games. There's a lot of reoccurring characters, and there's a lot of fun stuff going on with it. So if you have a PSP, then this is definitely a title that's worth picking up. And now on to our tech news. Not a lot going on for tech news this week. It was a little bit slow, but there is some cool stuff going on. First off, I want to talk about GameStop stepping it up and going into the modding world. I think this is really cool, and this is definitely something that GameStop should get involved in. What they're doing is they're going to sell a modded PlayStation 3 Slim that's going to have a 500 gigabyte hard drive. That's awesome. I think that's really cool that they're pushing this out. It is going to be priced at $399, so it's only $100 more than the basic Slim, and it also comes bundled with a custom skin, a media hub with remote, HDMI cable, and a charging stand. All those accessories alone would usually come up to about $100, so you're getting a lot for your money here. As of right now, though, this is only listed as a pre-order, and that is in Europe. So there is no news yet as to whether or not this is going to be released for the States. But my sources told me that it is going to be released in the States, that it's just being a little bit delayed. But keep your eyes peeled. You can stop in once in a while into your local GameStop and ask them about it because at some point they're going to have information about this. And this is a pretty cool idea. And I hope GameStop has success with this so that they continue to mod systems and push stuff out there like this. Our next bit of tech news is video game related, but not directly. This is about the new GeForce card that is going to be coming out, the GTX 590. This card was released on the 24th. It was delayed for 2 days for driver issues. But after they ironed that out, they got it released, and there's no real benchmarks out there yet. I'm waiting to see exactly what's going to happen. But of course, NVIDIA is going to claim this, and you can't know this for sure. But they are claiming that, and this card is expected to be faster than the current fastest card on the market, which is AMD's card, the HD 6990. 6990 is a beast of a card. So if this is going to be faster, that's pretty amazing. This is a dual GPU card. It's going to have a couple different builds, but I expect to see this come out with 1.5 or 2 gigabytes of memory on board. This is going to be a stupid fast video card. I have not yet seen the average price tag on this, but I'm sure it's going to be hefty. Expect to see 5, maybe even upwards into the $600 range for a card of this magnitude. But this is going to be a very, very powerful card. Our last bit of tech news is coming at us from Asus, and although it's not 100% confirmed yet as to the details of this, what we're looking at is that they are coming out with a new netbook. It's slated to come out in June, and instead of using the standard Windows format with the older XP, or now they use the Windows 7 starter for the netbooks, it's going to be using the Chrome operating system, or at least that's the rumor. According to DigiTimes, the first people to report on this, it was either going to be the Chrome operating system or Android 3.0, but either way, it's going to be designed and made by Google. Android 3.0 doesn't seem very likely, though, as this is usually used for tablets. So I expect to see this with the Chrome operating system, and I'm pretty excited to see how this works out. This may have some issues because obviously everything is designed for Windows, and usually the Chrome operating system isn't installed by itself, it's installed over top of Windows. So if you have any issues, usually that corrects for it. So I'm interested to see how this works out. But because it's using the Chrome operating system, this will really help them cut down the cost. So you're going to get a pretty powerful netbook. It's going to be one of the best netbooks and most powerful netbooks that they have put out to date, and the price tag is going to be somewhere between $200 and $250. So for anyone that's just looking for a small laptop and doesn't need to do a whole lot with it, doesn't need, I wouldn't expect to play too many games on this laptop, but for $200 to $250, that's a hard price to beat, and I'm interested, and I'm probably going to pick this up and see how it runs. So that's it for the news today. Thanks for joining us on GNN. Stay classy, YouTube.